Hi there. Got this five sheet today for this article from FoxNews.com. Let's start out with the headline as they list it on their main page. Joe Biden addresses investigation into son's taxes on liberal comedian's late night talk show. And then it has this little text up here on top of the graphic, laughing it off. So, what is that? A fact or opinion? I put other. The bottom part here is really all fact, but laughing it off adds some editorialization to it. Makes it seem as if Biden is downplaying this whole investigation, joking about it. How did I paraphrase this? Biden laughed off Hunter investigation in Colbert interview. Alright, they got a second title here once you get inside the article. Joe Biden claims foul play while defending son Hunter, but says he's not concerned. That one I also wrote as other because it is, again, mostly fact. Biden claims this thing while defending Hunter, but says this other thing. So it's mostly just Biden said this fact, or Biden said this statement and said this statement, which would be a factual headline, but the usage of the term foul play is a little bit ambiguous, as we're going to see when we get into the article, especially. What is foul play referring to there? So that's why I left that in other. I paraphrased it. Biden says he's not concerned about Hunter investigation, but claims foul play. Alright, known bias. This is Fox News, so I listed it establishment right. Alright, moving on to the thesis. Let's get in here. Came pretty early on, right in the second paragraph. That one there. It was a fact, pretty straightforward. I paraphrased it. In a Colbert interview, Biden and Jill expressed confidence in Hunter. Right, not too much going on there. And then evidence supporting that. It's not a very controversial thesis. They won't need much evidence supporting it. But they've got this quote here from the interview where Biden is expressing confidence. He has great confidence in our son. So they seem to support that thesis well enough. All right, what's the structure of this article? What's the framework? They start out with that thesis and then the evidence we just discussed. Then they talk about how Republicans play into this. And this goes back to that foul play we discussed in the headline. Because during the interview, he mentioned foul play, and then afterwards, his transition team clarified that he did not mean the investigation itself was foul play, but that the Republicans using this whole Hunter Biden story as political fodder was foul play. So that's the third place this article goes, is talking about how the Republicans are playing into the story. And now that we've seen that side of this, now that we've seen that's what he meant by foul play, that makes this headline read a little bit differently. Because Joe Biden claims foul play when defending son Hunter. That kind of sounds like the investigations are foul play, but it's ambiguous, could be read either way. But again, that's not a good headline. Headlines are not meant to be ambiguous. Alright, where does the article go next? After it talks about the headlines, it just gives a little background. Sorry, after it talks about the Republicans, it gives a little background on Hunter's business dealings. Uh, international business dealings, Burisma, Chinese and Russians. There we go. And it closes out with a Democratic Senator, Joe Manchin, and his confidence that any investigations into Hunter will continue unimpeded in a Joe Biden White House because Joe Biden believes in the rule of law. That's the little button they put on this article. All right. Moving on to the named manipulation tactics. I did not see any of those in this article. That's fairly common, especially a short article like this. It's definitely uncommon to see any one of these popping up, and it's, fairly common to not see any of them popping up. Again, especially a fairly short and fact based article like this. So, what I thought the most misleading part of this article were those titles. They were misleading for two main reasons. One is that they were different than each other. This headline from the main page was about how Biden was laughing off the investigation and downplaying its seriousness. And this one is about how Biden is claiming foul play, almost like the Republicans are cheating, like he's overplaying its seriousness. They're almost like the opposite headline. So that incongruity there, that clash creates some confusion. It's jarring to the reader. Anytime a news writer presents something, it should be clear, it should inform the reader, it should not confuse the reader. And the other reason those headlines present a problem is because the articles themselves undermine them. They're not consistent with the articles. Like, especially this part about foul play. How he claims foul play when defending son Hunter, but when we get into it, what he's talking about is just that Republicans are playing hardball politically, and he thinks that's kind of a dick move. Well, okay, that's not what that headline sounded like. That was very misleading, the way that headline was written. So I thought that was the biggest negative there. Could have been worse, but there might have been something I missed here. So go ahead, fill out your own 5 sheets. Let me know if there's something I'm missing, and fix it. Thank you guys.